it going, everyone? And welcome back to the eighth episode now. The eighth episode, I'm pretty sure, of the White Belt podcast. It's been a minute since I've done my last podcast. A lot has happened in the MMA world and really just in general with my life. I've done some. I remember in the last podcast I was kind of talking about like what I do fitness wise and stuff like that. I kind of have some tweaks I made that I'll probably talk about here in the podcast. A lot of MMA stuff's happened, like I mentioned. But yeah, I think the last pay-per-view that happened was UFC 237 or 236 because 237 is this Saturday. That's the card in Brazil. Headline with the Andrade and Namajunas fight for the strawweight championship. I mean, in all honesty, I don't know. This card's good. It's not the best card they've put out. I don't know. The main event's that's a good fight. The co-main, Anderson Silva, that's nice, but Jared Cannonier, it'll probably be a good fight. Cannonier came off that knockout win over David Branch, so you never know coming into this fight. You could knock out Silva. I probably see Anderson getting the decision. Maybe even knocking him out. I don't even think that. I actually could see Anderson taking him to the ground because in that fight against David Branch in the first round, Cannonier was actually on the ground for a good portion of the fight. And actually, I remember them saying at one point he was like just sitting there, just looking up at the clock, like waiting. So with Anderson being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and obviously having great clinch work, great grappling, I don't see why he wouldn't try to take him down. Maybe, I don't know, he could try to submit him. I don't know, my pick for that is Anderson, unanimous decision. The title fight, probably going to go with, I know a lot of people are picking Andrade, but I'm going to pick Namajunas just because Namajunas, even though like everyone's making a big deal about how, they're fighting in Brazil, the crowd and everything like that gets to people. I don't know. I just think Namajunas is. I just feel like she's just different, like mentally. We saw that with the Rose, with the first Rose fight, with the first Joanna fight. I'm sorry. She was just like I don't know. She was just standing there like unfazed the whole time. No matter what Joanna did, she was just unfazed. Went out there, executed, knocked her out. Same thing. Second fight. I don't think Joanna talked as much trash because she got knocked out the first time. But same thing. Just stoic, stone cold face. I don't know. I think Namajunas will be able to keep her cool. I wouldn't be surprised if Namajunas submitted Andrade as well. Aldo Volkanovski, that's a good fight. Probably going to pick Aldo on that. The rest of the card, none of the fights really stick out to me. Thiago Alves is fighting. They have a BJ Penn and Clay Guida fight. I'm pretty sure one of the Nogueira brothers is fighting, but it's just like a bunch of old, I don't want to say washed up, but I guess in a sense washed up, just old like MMA stars fighting on this card, fighting a bunch of up and coming people. They're just feeding them. I don't know. That's just how I feel about this card. It's still not a bad card. Don't get me wrong. I guarantee you there'll be some good fights in here. I'm just saying on paper, this probably isn't appealing to a lot of people. A lot of people that don't know a lot about MMA and the sport and stuff like that. If you're a casual fan, this definitely does not look appealing. But yeah, you never know. There still could be some really good fights on here. I'm still gonna watch it regardless. But UFC 236 that happened about a month ago. Close to a month ago. It was April 13th, and it's the 9th. So just about a month and 4 days. 4 days off of a month. But yeah, those fights were crazy as well. I think I remember even saying, I might have said it on the podcast. I know I was talking to someone about it, saying that I had a weird feeling that Poirier was gonna pull that off. I'm pretty sure though on the podcast I did say safe bet money's on Holloway. That was my pick, but I just had some weird feeling with Poirier. I don't know. I just feel like the whole the reason. And this was very evident in the fight. The whole reason why I thought that was because Holloway is moving up to lightweight, which is no problem because champions move up all the time and challenge people. especially like when people are trying to get two belts. They move up. They don't normally move down like TJ. We saw what happened with TJ, but moving up. The only reason why I thought it was gonna be different for Max moving up to lightweight was because most of those guys at lightweight are too big for lightweight, anyways. So really, he's jumping 2 weight classes in a sense. They're fighting at 155, but these guys, it was evident with Poirier, his size, his power. He was just much bigger than Holloway, and I don't think Holloway didn't have an answer for it because when you're just much bigger I don't want to say much bigger, but when you're just bigger, thicker, stronger than your opponent, you're able to, obviously take more shots. You can take more damage, not get as hurt. Your opponent, who the smaller guy, doesn't do as much damage, so it's harder for him to try to knock you out, capitalize, do some damage to you. So it makes it harder for him. He's not as powerful. He's not as strong, so he can't control him as well. And I just think that that was evident the whole time throughout the fight. And I don't know, just Max is a true 145er. Even though he does struggle to make weight, I think he's just a true 145er because a lot of those guys at lightweight are too big for lightweight anyways. I just think moving up, he'd have a hard time with a good majority of those guys. I don't know. He could move up again in the future and do great. He could come up in the future and win the title up there. We never know. But I think right now, if Holloway would move up to lightweight or fight at lightweight again, I'd definitely work on putting on some size or just trying to put on some more muscle because that was the biggest thing that held him back in that fight. Even though it was a great fight, and I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, Holloway actually outscored Poirier on the scorecards, but I'm not even sure if where was the 236 at? It wasn't Vegas. It was Atlanta. It was Atlanta. I don't know if Atlanta has if they have the new MMA rules. But it was evident that Poirier was winning that fight regardless, even though whether or not Holloway outstruck him or whatever, I think it was pretty evident that Poirier won that fight. He controlled the pace of the fight. He did a lot. He landed he did a lot more significant damage. He split that cut from like his forehead down like the side of his nose, like by his eye, was nasty on Holloway. He busted a Holloway up, and we've never seen Holloway get beat up like that, ever. That was his first time losing in 5 years, so that, whatever that is, 2014, something like that. I'll just look it up. That was definitely, probably a humbling experience for Holloway. But I think that was good because it also shows, too, that, I don't know, a lot of people nowadays are just trying to bounce around and get belts and just do big money fights. And I think that also puts things in perspective, that there is levels. And I think it shows the level of skill that Poirier is at, even though we've known for a while that Poirier is pretty good. I just think a lot of people, including myself, probably thought that maybe Poirier got Holloway early on in his career. That's when when a lot of good fighters usually lose is early on in their career. And I thought maybe that's probably what the case was with that Poirier fight. But Poirier I think he might be the real deal, especially after that fight. He put on a great fight. Let me see when the last time Max Holloway lost was before that. It was 2013, so about 6 years ago, against Conor McGregor. So, he's all of Holloway's losses too are like Poirier was his first loss. Dennis Bermudez, who actually just retired. Dennis Bermudez is actually when he was doing well, he was pretty good. He's a good grappler, very explosive. And then obviously Conor McGregor speaks for himself. And then most recent loss being Poirier again. But I still think Holloway's fine. Holloway can go back down to lightweight. Still got the title. Didn't really lose much. He took an L on his record, but didn't really lose a whole lot. He just gets to go back down, recover. I don't even know who he's going to take on because he's cleaned out the whole division basically. Maybe a Frankie fight. Possibly if Volkanovski wins his fight against Aldo, that could jump him up to a title shot. Well, we'll see. There's a lot of factors that go into it, especially with this weekend, depending on who wins between Aldo and Volkanovski. I just said it. Whoever wins that fight could determine who gets the next title shot. Pretty much, if Aldo wins, probably I don't know. They might give it to Frankie. I don't know, but if Volkanovski wins, they might give it to Volkanovski. Or if Volkanovski wins, they might have Frankie and Volkanovski fight and have that be the title. I don't know. And let Holloway get some time to recover and maybe do that fight at the end of the year, the title fight at the end of the year. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. The other fight, though, the Adesanya and Gastelum fight, that was a great fight. That was probably one of the better fights I've seen in a while. Probably the best fight I've seen this year. Adesanya, that was definitely the most adversity that Adesanya has probably ever faced in his MMA career. And I think he definitely struggled at first. I don't know if it was because his hands were too low or if he was just trying to get his time. He was just still reading him and trying to understand Gastelum, Adesanya I'm talking about. If he just had his hands low or if he was just trying to spending too much time trying to read him early on in the fight, and that's why he was getting caught. I don't know, but I think it was evident that he started making adjustments. And the fight was back and forth. It was like the first round was definitely Gastelum. And then if I remember, second round could have been Adesanya, and then it was Adesanya again won in the third. Gastelum won the fourth, so it was 2-2 going into the fifth, and then Adesanya just turned it on and poured it on. That was probably one of the best performances too I've seen. That and the Usman performance. Those two are probably two of the best performances I've seen. Usman was very dominating. It just really showed that Usman's on another level, and how good his grappling is and everything. But also for Adesanya, it shows that it answers a lot of questions because people didn't know if he could deal with a high level fighter, because he fought Rob Wilkinson his first fight, then he fought Marvin Vettori, and then who was it? Brunson? Might have been Brunson. I'll just look it up. So he really didn't have too many besides Brunson. There was really no real big name fighters, high level fighters. All those guys are high level, but you guys know what I mean. There's levels to the game, and he really didn't. He faced Rob Wilkinson, Marvin Vettori, Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares isn't bad. Derek Brunson. I feel like Derek Brunson just gets knocked out anymore, even though he just won last weekend. Actually, that was a good performance by him. And then Anderson Silva and Gastelum. You could argue that Anderson was a challenge, but you could also argue that Anderson's not the same Anderson. Anderson's still tough, though. I still feel like Anderson, he could probably beat 85% of the middleweight division. I don't know, that might be a stretch, but 85, yeah, I feel like he could definitely beat 85% of maybe even more. I don't know. But Gastelum is no joke either. He's very well rounded. He's got great striking, great grappling, and Adesanya almost looked like the better grappler. The striking was definitely closer, but I think Adesanya took over towards the end. No doubt that he took over towards the end, but I think Adesanya had the slight edge in the striking. And I think he needed to figure out that range and utilize his reach a lot more, because if he just utilized, obviously it's easier said than done, but once if he would have figured out that distance and that range a lot sooner, I feel like that would have been a much different fight. I feel like Gastelum probably would have gotten finished. But what can I'm not in there, so I don't know what it's like. Obviously it's different when you're in there. But I think that grappling wise, that answered a lot of questions too for Adesanya, because he looked great. In those scrambles, he even set up that triangle. There was something else. He had that guillotine, that standing guillotine. I don't know why he didn't try to pull guard. He was just holding it there. I don't understand why he wouldn't just try to pull guard, because then you just lock him in. He had that sunk in. But also that's just another thing. In the heat of the moment, you probably don't think of things like that. That's pretty understandable though. Regardless though, Adesanya answered a lot of questions. He proved that he's the real deal. He proved that he's got championship heart. He can deal with real fighters. And Gastelum, hats off to Gastelum too. Gastelum showed championship heart as well. He looked tough. He definitely looks like he could be a champion as well, no doubt. I mean, Gastelum could easily bounce back from this, win 2 or 3 more fights. Probably win 2 more fights and be back in the title. 2 or 3 more fights, be back in the title picture. It could be a toss-up though, depending on who wins between I almost said Wilkinson, Whitaker and Adesanya. I think Adesanya will win that, but it could be the same fight. It very well could be the same fight with the Gastelum fight, because Whitaker's got that power. He's got heavy hands. I don't know. We'll see, but there's a lot of things that have to factor into it. That's pretty much it though with MMA news. I don't know. Actually, too. Also, I recommend everyone trying to get ESPN Plus. If you guys actually, this isn't even like paid, or whatever, like a promotional thing. But I actually just started watching ESPN Plus. That's like something I've been doing recently. ESPN Plus is like, it's not as good as Fight Pass. I used to have Fight Pass, and Fight Pass is better in terms of fight library. They have way more fights than ESPN Plus. But ESPN Plus is definitely cool. If you do whatever I think it's $50 for a whole year or $5 a month. That's not even bad. $5 a month. If you think about it, you get 3 or 4, probably 3 ESPN cards, ESPN Plus cards, which put on great fights. On top of that, you get access to old fights, replays of old everything that's been on ESPN. You can watch anything else sports-wise if any of you guys are just fans of sports, like anything else besides MMA. I'm pretty sure there's even some boxing and stuff on there you can watch. It's that has whatever ESPN Plus exclusive stuff. It's actually really cool. I'm one of those people too that like I won't spend money. Like I know I don't know. I won't spend money. I'll share an account with someone or whatever. I won't pay for something like that. But I definitely think if you're a fan of MMA, I definitely think it's worth it, honestly, because $5 a month, that's not bad. You get to watch basically 3 cards, ESPN Plus cards. I'm rambling on. I'm seeing the same things over and over again, but you guys get what I'm saying. If it's something you guys are interested in, I definitely recommend it. I tried it out, and I think it's worth it if you're really in an MMA and you watch MMA. Like I'll just get on there when I'm bored and just watch fights, whatever. Like I remember one night I literally just watched a whole card, like a rewind of a whole card. I don't know, it's fun. If you like fights like that, I definitely recommend it. But yeah, I don't know. What else was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about fitness. I mean, I didn't really change a whole lot. I still do the same things like supplementation wise. I haven't gotten any mass gainer in a while. I need to do that because I told you guys I'm gonna let you guys know how it works when I mix that with milk, because that would definitely probably make a drastic impact on how I gain weight. But also I've been trying to eat a lot more. I tried meal prepping. That was meal prepping. I mean, meal prepping is honestly not as hard as in terms of actually prepping this stuff. It's not that bad. It takes like maybe an hour and a half of actual like working to make everything, which isn't that bad. But it's just so like you get so used to everything like so fast, and you're just like, yeah, I need something. I don't know. It takes discipline. I mean, I think where I'm at right now in my life, I don't really. I wanted to do it because I feel like it was gonna be really beneficial, and I feel like it would help me. I don't know, just get in shape, or I don't know, put on mass faster, help me get in shape faster and just be healthier. But it definitely does, because I did feel better, but it is a commitment. I feel like I just feel like where I'm at in life right now as a kid, I don't really need to like a kid. I don't know. At 19, I don't feel like I need to be I guess I'm still a kid. I don't need to be that strict on everything. I just need to be eating a lot, and that's what I've been doing. I've been eating like a lot of pasta and stuff recently, a lot of Greek yogurt, a lot of peanut butter and jellies, and that's honestly been helping a lot. Put on weight. I've definitely put on a lot of weight. Like the past like 3 weeks, I think I've put on like a significant amount of weight, at least like 10 pounds. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not even kidding. I feel like with just eating like a bunch of pasta, a bunch of yogurt, and a bunch of peanut butter and jellies like throughout the day, it just, I don't know, it works. It works for me. And another thing I've been trying to do too is I've been trying to switch up my workouts. I feel like that's pretty important because your body I mean, it is known that your body gets used to like how whatever, like how you train. Your muscles get used to it, and then you gotta confuse your muscles. So I've been trying to switch things up with my workouts, doing different things. And also I've been doing like sitting outside. I mean, now it's getting close to summertime. Sitting outside has really been like, I feel like sitting outside is like just beneficial for like your just like well-being in general, because like it just makes you happier. I feel like it makes you I mean, obviously you get if you're sitting outside and it's sunny, you're gonna get tan. It's relaxing. Also, another thing I've been doing when I sit outside after I work out, just like when it's warm out, is like meditation. I know that sounds really lame. I don't mean meditation like crossing my legs, thumb and middle finger touching, resting on I'm not talking about like that. I mean like meditation is in like well, there's this app called Headspace, which is like it's like a guided kind of meditation thing, which I did that for a little bit. If you guys have never done any, I've never done anything like meditation before this. I just remember listening to Sean O'Malley, I think, on his podcast with Tim Welch. They were talking about meditation with Paul Chek, and like how beneficial it is. So I just started trying it out, and it's actually like all you have to, it's just like breathing, like just learning to like relax, clear your mind, like don't think, like just let thoughts just go by and don't focus on anything, and just kind of like just breathe, and just kind of just like, I don't know, you just feel like I don't know, it's weird. You're like in the moment, and it's weird. I can't explain it, but if you guys download the app Headspace, it's free. They have like a free 10 course thing, or 10 episode course thing you can do. It's just like it just clears your mind. You just feel in the moment, which I feel like a lot of the times, especially with our lives nowadays, especially with everything being technological. I know this sounds cliche, but I feel like everybody just gets caught up with like I don't know, they just get caught up in like stupid stuff, like their phones. Like, I mean, I do it all the time. I'm a millennial and I just sit on my phone all the time, but a lot of people do it, and you just don't even realize how much time you waste. But like being able to like just be like completely like free of like everything and just be relaxed in the moment, I just feel like there's nothing like, I mean, in terms of like actual relaxation and just like clearing your mind, there's nothing more peaceful in my opinion. Also, another thing too, I definitely think it helps you sleep better at night, because well, being out in the sun, I think naturally just does something like drains your body of energy, but I think it definitely helps you sleep better at night, because you're clearing your mind in a way. And normally, like, at least I'm this way when I'm like laying in bed, like when I'm about to sleep, that's when I like do like my most thinking. Like I probably think more when like I'm laying in bed at night than I do at school, when I'm sitting in class. Like, I don't know, it's just it helps me clear my mind, and I can fall asleep a lot faster. I don't know, I feel like that's something beneficial, and I feel like just recovery wise, like just being able to relax, being outside, I feel like it's just good for your body. It definitely helps. I definitely recommend it if you guys haven't tried anything like that. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode today. I don't really have too much else to talk about. I think I covered all the bases of things I wanted to talk about. But yeah, that's it for today. If you guys are listening on iTunes, go ahead and check out the podcast on YouTube. Subscribe, share, send it to your friends. Follow it on Instagram at White Belt Podcast, on Twitter at The White Belt Pod. I'm pretty sure it's in the link, or the link's in the description. It'll be down there. Whatever, share it with your friends, subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed talking to you guys, and I will catch you guys later.